Sun is up. Wow, impressive. How y'all doing? Who went to Baton Rouge? All right. Did you eat at Mike's Seafood or? All right. All right. Opening statement, or what do you want? Or a closing statement of the tournament?
What did you learn about your team? What you're most proud of at the tournament? Maybe least disappointed in?
We can handle adversity when things don't go well for you early, either on foul problems or your offense or just the other team has a great scheme against you. We adjusted very well throughout the games, particularly in the second half. And we faced three completely different ball clubs over there. And the most important thing is we held the best player on each of those teams. First game, held her to one field goal. She's a rebounding shot block, but one field goal. That's a Geepa boy, or however you pronounce her name. And then the second night, the South Dakota kid, we held her to 7 points. The next night, she gets 30. I mean, she's that good of a Power 5 player. And then the job that we did on Burton, and not just on Burton, but on their freshman post, who was very good defensively. And I just thought we played very well defensively in saying this is the person we need to shut down. And I think Coach Brown had a lot of game plans. My assistants, who each had a different scout, they performed well as assistant coaches.
Coach, looking at Little Rock and Arkansas, what challenges they present? What's going to be key?
Well, Little Rock was 4-1 going into that game, had the tournament this weekend at Oral Roberts. Their best player did not play. Why, I do not know. I worry about who shows up. But I don't know if she was injured, COVID, or what, but she was leading them in score and playing very well. What worries me is the letdown, the quick turnaround. I went to bed at 4:30 this morning, got up at 8:30. Same with my assistant coaches. So it was a long night, and our kids had to be in classes today. We'll just show film today. That's all our body can handle. Little Rock, I feel like I'm on not a farewell tour, but a golfing foursome. Between my last game with McEwen at Northwestern, Joe Foley at UALR, and Vic at Texas, we've played a lot of golf together, that foursome. There's been a little money exchange or Diet Cokes exchange, but this is a good friend tour, and I'm really enjoying the tour. Little Rock is straight man for man. We saw everything but the kitchen sink over there in the Virgin Islands, from 1-3-1 to matchup to floating zones to man. We will see 40 minutes of man and 40 minutes of man on the next two ball games. And Foley's an outstanding coach. He'll be a Hall of Famer. He's got over 800 wins, and they just beat you with the discipline of their offense. They execute, they run a lot of true motion, and they want the score to be a little bit lower. Vic wants it a little bit higher on Sunday.
Do you feel like with so many new players on the roster this year, Coach, they're finally starting to mesh together like you hoped it would?
Yes and no. The no part is every team we have played has been a 4-guard team. And so I hadn't been able to use my bigs together as much as I would like to. We have to scheme for the team that we're playing. And you say, well, why can't you just use your bigs against their guards? Sometimes it doesn't work that way. The game has changed because of the three-point line and spacing and the ability to run the breaks and shoot threes off of it. So for the bigs have got to learn how to guard those 5'11" kids that can play 3 to 4 positions. We have a couple when we can put Destiny Pitts or Kayla playing the 4 position, then we can use more guards that way. But at the same time, when you get switched off and you have to guard a 6'2" or 6'3", it's a tough matchup problem for them and for us. I want to eventually get back more to the traditional 6'2" inside, 6'3" inside, and play power basketball. We are not scoring well enough with our 4-guard lineup from outside inside. We have got to do better. Now, in our last ball game, Roby in the second half did an outstanding job of passing out, and we were getting open threes. She showed that she will give the ball up at the 5 position and get us easier shots. So that's what we're working on till we can go back to start playing power ball again. But every team we've played so far has been a 4-guard lineup.
I know that elementary school day has always been one of your favorites, so is that something that you've had marked on your calendar since the offseason?
Always. I see kids around Bryan College Station and little area towns all summer long. They're asking about the game. The majority of those games are for 5th graders coming. Hopefully we're going to have a slew of them at the ball game, particularly the Bryan and College Station always do it. They do a great job of getting their kids out on a field trip. And it's not just watching a basketball game. It's sharing in the excitement, not just being away from school, but this is school. They're learning what teamwork is all about. They're seeing our dance team. They're seeing our yell leaders. They're seeing our band. They're seeing our older folks respond more to the elementary kids because we're not drawing that many students due to they have class. So we need the elementary kids to get our older fans, like my age, off their seats and enjoy it. We're not going to a symphony or an orchestra or a 1-act play. We're going to a basketball game, and I want those kids in here rocking, having a good time, hurrying home for they can tell their little brothers or big brothers and sisters how much fun they had at Reed.
Any elementary schools decide not to come this year, still a little bit worried about being out in public?
No, I think it's not enough bus drivers. Not enough bus drivers. That's the excuse we've heard from a few schools, but not because of COVID. Bus drivers, we need more people taking jobs than sitting home taking checks. And so there's jobs out there, people in Bryan College Station. It might not be your dream job, but there's jobs available, and I hope people will get out, get back to work, and produce. This is the greatest country in the world, but it's only the greatest country in the world when we have a workforce.
Good. Thank you, Coach.
You could have been a bus driver in a different life, Gary.
Oh, I did that